What's up, everybody? It's your boy P.A from the Moto podcast. Today we got a special guest and a special car in our midst today. We have Manny over here to my far right.
What up?
And we got Roger over here to my right. And it's not just NSX Roger, it's just Roger. I feel like sometimes people just only know someone from like the car. You know what I mean? So this guy's car is hotter than fish grease. Like, you cannot open Instagram or anything without seeing this NSX behind us. And this is the man behind it.
Yes, sir. Welcome.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you guys for having me. Glad to be here for sure.
So, like I said, I have heavily introed the fact that this is Roger, not NSX Roger. So, Roger, tell us a little bit about yourself. And,
My name is Roger Nakada. Originally from Orlando, Florida. Lived there pretty much a whole life. Was living in Miami for 2 years and moved to Valrico about a year ago. So fairly new to the area still, I feel like. But it's great here. Ever since I moved here, met a lot of great people. Car scene's amazing here, you know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Yes.
So it's I felt like when people ask me, what's it like, compared to like Orlando and Miami. Orlando's not bad. It's pretty good, depending which area you go to.
There's a lot of cars out there.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah. And then, Miami, it's just more exotics and Dodges.
A lot of Hellcats.
A lot of Hellcats.
Everyone's like
Cats.
trading off, stealing each other's.
Yeah. Dude, it's wild down there, man. So when I came here, it's like just the fact that, Miami has the worst traffic, I feel like, compared to any other city, like more than LA, more than Atlanta. I hate Miami. So
even Tampa?
Agreed.
Dude, in Tampa, it's a breeze. I've never once complained once about traffic. I hear, you guys and like the locals talk about the traffic and complain about it, but I'm like, dude, this ain't nothing, man. So I'm cool with it. But yeah, no, it's pretty much it, man. I've had the car for about 2 years, and it's been a journey, but enjoyed every step of the way to where it's at right now for sure. So
yeah, it definitely came out great, and I'm pretty sure this isn't the end. This isn't its final form.
No.
We could talk about that a little bit later, but in the form that it's in, it looks great. It looks amazing.
It. Thank you.
Have you always been a Honda guy?
Yeah, pretty much. I've I've had Civics, a couple Civics. Had my S2000 since 2004, so a very long time. Had a couple Mini Coopers. Drove that for a little bit. Had a Honda Fit, and had a FRS. So that was a little bit different than the one, but still fun. Like I enjoy nice handling cars, like that go-kart feel. I enjoy that. So, but yeah, pretty much always been a Honda guy. Yeah, I had a Tesla, a Model 3.
Ooh.
And that was pretty cool. I don't care about the whole EV, gas debate, but it was fun to drive. It got me to A to B, but nothing worse than was having to charge. So yeah, especially for like the long commutes, it's a hassle.
Yeah,
and didn't enjoy that, so had to get rid of it for that reason. But yeah.
I've never driven one, or have I been? I don't think I've been in one either.
No, I do. I loved it. I mean, luxury wise, I feel it was fine with me, because most of the cars I had didn't really have anything, fancy or anything, obviously. But that one was like, fancy for me, and had decent power, nice little kick to it, and I had no problems with it. I enjoyed it, but glad I got rid of it because just to make more space for some other stuff. So
a little bit of a hassle there.
Yeah, exactly. Especially with insurance, how expensive and how much it's going up. It definitely saved me some money getting rid of that car.
Yeah, and it just seems like it just keeps going up higher and higher.
Well, no, ever since Hertz, they got rid of their fleet, their EV fleet.
Mm-hmm.
It completely saturated the market, so it like crashed like my resale value on my car. So after 2 years, I took a big hit where I couldn't believe it, like how much if you can get one right now as a secondhand owner, it's the best time because they're dirt
everywhere.
cheap.
Yeah,
They're dirt cheap compared to what they were, 2 years or 3 years ago. Especially if you didn't get the government rebates and stuff like that.
Yeah,
That
I
helps
heard
a
about
lot.
that.
But if you didn't get
Yeah.
that, because they stopped it for a little bit, was of course when I got it, mine, and yeah, it was. It still hurts me thinking about how much that damn value went down when I got rid of it. But yeah, I sold it to one of my buddies who worked for me, and he loves the car. He enjoys it. So in the end, it's like, all right, that's cool, man. As long as he gets to enjoy it,
yeah,
that's
for
fine.
sure.
Yeah, that's what's up.
I've been
Never
in
thought
a
about that.
I've been in a Plaid and they set you back for sure.
Yeah,
But
100%.
I don't think I can do the whole electric scene. I can't. I don't know. I can't do it.
Well, definitely for the car scene, it's like one of the worst ones for sure. Like I hate the car scene, but they look decent. But for modding wise, there's nothing you can do to that car to make it look anything decent. I did see someone post last night. It was like a drag Tesla, but it clearly didn't have an electric motor because it was making a lot of noise and it was pretty sick. And I thought,
Hell
okay,
yeah.
well that's pretty badass.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Swap it with a combustion engine. I'd
Yeah.
do it right.
All right, that's interesting. Never thought you would be a Tesla owner, but you learn something new every day. That's one of
Yeah.
the good things about this
Yeah.
podcast. So, like, walk us through, a little bit more of your automotive journey. I know, like I said, this isn't the first car you've had, and you kind of went a little bit about the Tesla, but what else is something that, like, I guess that kind of brought you up to the NSX?
Well, I've been in cars my whole life. My dad, pretty much, raised me to be that way. He's a hot rodder, so he had, we went to car shows, in what's called a rumble seat out of a original 32 Ford. So,
okay.
yeah, so like the trunk would open up like this, and there's a seat there. So me and my brother would sit there, and we drove all the way to Tennessee, Kentucky, Ohio, everywhere. And I grew up around domestics my whole life. My brother was the one who got me into imports. So when he was in high school, he got a 99 Civic EX, and did the whole thing, modding at the time, and wheels, springs, cold air intakes,
What time was this?
Cold air intake.
So this was like 2000,
Okay.
2001. So it was just before Fast and Furious came out, and then when it came out, I was a freshman in high school going into my sophomore year, and I remember it so vividly. Going to the theater. We got like a sneak preview like 1 week before it came out, and obviously,
nice.
seeing that, it was like, dude, that's amazing. Yeah. So wanted to get imports, and my first car was a 1991 EF hatch.
Nice.
Again, DX model. So it was white, blue interior, like pleather, like everything was blue,
Yeah.
And my mom, she had gotten me that, and I think she paid $500, and it was only like 60,000 miles. So this was like a 10, 11-year-old car, and so it was pretty mint for back then. And I think it was like
cheap cars.
67 horsepower. So it was a 4-speed, and that's how I learned to drive stick, in that car. And but I never was a fan of the EF hatches as much. I guess I just didn't appreciate it, like what it was and what it could be, and I didn't have that vision for that. But then I got a 95 Civic coupe, and my father's friend's daughter's boyfriend, he was a painter, and he had already modified it. So my dad, he didn't want me spending all this money. He just wanted me to just get one that was, I guess, somewhat done and like modified and hooked up. And that's why I drove. So he bought me that, and I drove that, and it was real nice. Had a Buddy Club body kit, Black Widow side skirts. It was a copper orange before because back then no one had orange cars.
Yeah.
It was copper orange with chameleon ghost flames. So, at certain angles you can't see it, but then other angles then you see it pop.
That's pretty dope.
So it was
The 2000 spec.
yeah. So it was awesome. I love that Racing Heart C5s. Had the whole like
Nice.
subs in the back with the whole display and all that jazz.
Manny
So,
is a sub expert.
oh yeah, yeah. It was nice, and we did that whole like car show scene. Honpur nights, the whole thing back then. That's more what I'm about, is like the show scene. Never was really like all about power. It's just I just want a car that looks good, gets attention, and just enjoying driving it, and reliability. And so that's what I had for a few years, and then I bought the S2000. So that was like 2004, and same thing. A lot of people know me for that car for the longest time. Was my S2000. So it had a Omnius wide body style kit on it. 19-inch T37s, so it was black with white wheels.
Oh.
Voltex, well, Jay's Racing Type 1 wing. It originally, so when I had the car, I wanted a hardtop. First thing I wanted. So
Yeah.
That spoon hardtop is so nice.
yeah, so I bought the OEM hardtop, and
Suck.
I only saw one person in Florida that had that hardtop at the time. So when I got it, it was Spa Yellow. So I drove around with a Spa Yellow hardtop on a black car. So it was a Bumblebee before Bumblebee was a name. So it was a little bit like that. And then I put a Sea West body kit before that. So it was a white body kit, black car, yellow hardtop. Driving around in that. So it definitely got looks in its own right at that time. And then
AP1 or AP2?
AP1.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was an 01.
Okay.
And got the Omnius wide body on it, and had ITBs. And at the time, there was like maybe 5 in the country that had ITBs.
I've never heard.
It sounds amazing. It sounds really good. But the problem is that at that time, no one's ever even tuned one before. So I had nothing but issues with the car. And
Did you have a standalone or?
yeah, I had a AM ECU at the time, so it was like the first gen one. So I had it was Gen V ITBs, and then there was a guy that shop that was sponsoring me at the time. He ended up folding. We had a falling out, and I ended up having to get another kit. So I got a TWM kit from a very well-known shop back in the day that's still around to this day, is All Version Pop Shop, and he got me set up with a kit and had that for a few years. Again, still had the tuning issues and whatnot, so it sounded great, but I couldn't do anything with it, and it was until 2012 it overheated. It was like the second time it happened. Cracked the head gasket, warped the head, and literally every paycheck went to that car. So I was just burnt out from it. I was like, all right, I need to break. I'm like, I got no money. I gotta focus on other things. I let it sit for like 6 months, and then when I was ready to put it back together, I saw that rats got inside it and completely like destroyed my interior, ate my wiring harness, so the electrical wasn't working. And then I was like, okay, I'm done with this car. So it's been sitting since that time. I tried reviving it back in 2018, and I just started my new business, so family, kids, kind of pushed it back. And then I bought this car as the next project, and then I just been focused on that, and that's where it's been with this right now all the time. But yeah, also now the next project that's almost running and ready is 99 EK hatch,
Nice.
K24 swap turbo, and it's wide body as well. And I have everything for it already to make it all-wheel drive. I'm just waiting. That's the next project for it. And then once that's done, S2000 will be finished, put back together, and then hopefully that'll be the plan. Is by the end of the year I'll have both those cars done.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Where'd you get the all-wheel drive kit from?
S1.
From St. Pete
Yeah.
or
Yes.
Clearwater?
Largo.
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 Okay.
Yeah. So S1. I bought their full kit for the rear. Have it in CRV trans with the final diff or the rear diff.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I hear nothing but good things from S1.
Yeah,
So-
it's they're they do good stuff. I hear certain things a little bit here and there, but I met the guys; they're all cool, and the plan is with that car, because of the fact that they're local, which is another great thing.
Yeah.
You know, in case something happens, I heard they stand by their products and they're pretty good with their customer service. So
Nice.
the plan is with that car, you know, everyone does drag with the all-wheel drive setup for these Civics,
Yep.
and they're all about the horsepower and just straight line. You know, to me, it's like theoretically, it would be maybe you would think it'd be a good track car, you know, like for circuit driving,
Yeah. Autocross or
you know,
something.
autocross and stuff.
Yeah.
So I figure, you know what, I've never been a high horsepower guy, so like 450, 500 horsepower, you know, all-wheel drive is more than enough for me.
Yeah, that's
where I'm
I
coming
mean,
from.
400, 400 and 450 is like the magic number for me.
Yeah,
That's where it's like, all right, cool. I'm
Yeah.
good with that.
exactly. So that's what I'm thinking, and so pretty much that's what the idea is. Just like that would be like my, you know, my car that I'm gonna be pushing, and you know, the more power for that one originally was the idea, and so enjoy that and see how that goes with that one. You know, since again everyone's doing track and drag with all-wheel drive, I still haven't seen one person do like a circuit with it. So we'll see how it goes. If it ends up working good, or you know, it doesn't be as good. You know, so we'll see.
Yeah. Okay.
Can't wait to see that one for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely can't wait to see that.
Especially if you're out on the track. I might go support on the stands for sure.
Yeah, that's the plan is to hit up Sebring, Daytona,
Yep.
and then just have fun with it.
Yep. Apparently can't do the firm anymore, or there's
Oh, really?
issues with the firm.
Oh yeah,
I forgot who was telling us that like a section was designated to like the airport there or something.
oh yeah. So they had to close that section off. I heard. So now it's like a much smaller track. It's like 60%, I think, of what it was originally. So it's not even like it wasn't as big as I heard as before, and now it's not even close to being that now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So now that you got what how'd you get up? Let's go back to the NSX. How'd you come up with the Lucky Strike livery? Is that something like from a race team you seen back in the day? Where did that come from?
Yeah, so when I did the wide body, it was black. I knew I wanted to do a livery because I've always loved, you know, like JGTC cars, you know, playing Gran Turismo, you know, on PlayStation as a kid. You know, I always loved the Castrol NSX, you know, having pictures of the Autobox, you know, Takata on my wall. You know, my all-time favorite was always the Castrol Tom Supra, you know, from back then. So
Yeah.
That's
I've
that white, red, and green one.
yeah, the white car with the red and green, you know, flowing stripes on the side.
Right.
And yeah, it's such an iconic car. But I've always loved the liveries, and you know, it was really big. You know, back in the day, you know, in the heyday, you know, Fast and Furious and like the whole import show kind of thing.
Yeah.
So you know, obviously it died out, and you know, not many people do that anymore. But I just knew that I loved that, and I want that look. So when I was thinking of my idea what to do, I was thinking about doing the Castrol NSX livery, but it's been done before, and I feel like it's kind of dated. So I wanted something that hasn't been done before, but looks appropriate, but also modern to where if it could look like it could be on the track today,
Right.
and look great. So I pretty much was just looking online, you know, Google, Instagram, and I came across this one person's page, and his name is Sargis05, and he actually makes liveries on Gran Turismo 7.
Okay.
So I saw this livery, and I thought this is amazing. Like, this is gorgeous. This is something I would exactly what I was looking for. So again, wanting something that hasn't been done before. So what this is based off of is the 2006 F1 car that Honda had back then for their one season that they had, and it was their Lucky Strike. And this is what it's pretty much based off. So it's like a heritage livery, so pay homage of it. Slightly changed a little bit, obviously, you know, to, you know, have some people's business, my business especially, to you know, promote.
Yeah.
And some other my friends. But yeah, that's pretty much where it came from. And I pretty much so I have a friend named Adil. He's been in the scene a long time. He's been, you know, doing vinyl stickers and wraps for like 30 years.
Ooh,
He's
wow.
very well known in Orlando. He used to work at All Version, and if you've been in the scene that long, everyone knows who it is. So he's like best friends with my brother, and I asked him, "Hey, do you think this is something you want to do?" He goes, "Absolutely." You know, he's the kind of guy where he wants to do cool shit. He says his words. If it was like a Tesla or something like that, just a basic color, which is what most of the cars that rap today is,
Yeah.
he'll refuse to do it. Like he'll turn down jobs like that because he doesn't care about the money. He just, at the point of his life, he wants to do cool stuff that
be creative, you know,
Exactly.
exercise that creative muscle.
Creative and something that he feels passionate about where he wants to do it.
Yeah.
So when I told him my idea of this, he said absolutely. So I gave him like 2 pictures of what it could be, and he came to my house. Him and my friend Miguel, they wrapped the car white, and then they put the graphics on top. Some were cut by hand and with the wire tape, and then he had layers already done, pre-made. So in just over 2 days, probably 22 hours, he was able to do this car from those 2 pictures.
Damn.
And
that's wild.
it came out almost to a T. So fantastic job on it. And I wasn't sure how people would actually honestly would take it, you know, because I thought maybe it's a little too much, you know, maybe it wouldn't come across as, you know, as receptive I thought. But it's been amazing.
It's a showstopper.
It's a hit.
It's
like
a showstopper.
10 out of 10.
Yeah, literally the first day I remember I drove out of my neighborhood. So normally, like, I've driven the car now for like almost a year. You know, obviously you see the people looking at it, and it would be a decent number of people will notice it, but it's black at the time, so it doesn't catch people's eyes. But when I took this out, it was crazy to see like how every single person that was driving past would notice the car, and yeah.
You'll stop.
Yeah, it's definitely a showstopper for sure, and
it's
been great. So, you know, definitely no regrets either way. But it's very nice to see that how receptive it's been with everyone, you know, that's seen the car or came across it.
Yeah. So would you say that this is like, I don't know, this is kind of a bit of a loaded question I'm about to ask, seeing as like how your NSX kind of, or not NSX, your S2000. But would you say this is your most like ambitious build to date?
I would say so, because back then, you know, there was so much parts available, and you know, people were modifying their cars a lot still back then. But now and today, you know, the scene's completely changed from what it used to be, and finding parts for this car was just it's so hard because they don't make them anymore.
Yeah.
And just having to find it, it's usually in Japan for most of the stuff. But there is some local places, not local, I'm sorry, stateside. For instance, like Pride. They make the rear panels for this car. And they also make front, but I use the rears for theirs because it's this wide is about 70 plus millimeters. They don't even know the exact number, but they said it's over 70 millimeters, close to it. So, you know, it's a very aggressive rear end, but it still flows with the OEM lines, which is what I really wanted.
Absolutely, yeah.
And that's so with this kit, it's not just one kit; it's a hodgepodge pretty much. So the front bumper, it's a Mode 4 NA2 front bumper, so it's the newer gens remake of their bumper to fit on the NA1, which is this one. And then the side skirts are for like a normal non-wide body NSX, but it's been modified and cut to flow with the car. And then the rears, again, is the Pride rear super wide fenders, they call it. And then the rear bumper is just a stock bumper. But when I envisioned this kit, you know, when putting it together, I'm sorry, also the front fenders, I forgot the part. The front fenders, I had, they're called fenders, but the fitment wasn't the best. And it was real hard to get everything lined up. So my body shop guy who did the amazing work on this car, Danny at Super Shop Automotive in Orlando, Florida.
Shout out to you, Danny.
Yeah, shout out to Danny. He did an amazing job. He had to mold the OEM fenders with the together to make it fit better to where it would be. He's a perfectionist for sure, and so he had to do that in order to get to where it's at right now, and that's what he did. And you know, just the thing is that, you know, just because you get certain parts, it doesn't mean it's going to flow well.
Yeah, it doesn't.
And so that's what I was worried about. And but I did all my research, like literally days and days of looking and figuring out before I was going to buy anything. And I saw that this should work. Everything should come together for what I envisioned was going to be. It came out exactly how I envisioned it. So it was great. And yeah, that's, I would say, the most ambitious for sure, because it's just not knowing, you know, and then pretty much, you know, my mindset now from what it was back then. It's like, you know, luckily financially, you know, I'm much more stable than it was before, and I can afford to do this, you know, this luxury, whatever. And being able to do that and going all in, that's what I want to do. I don't want to half-ass anything, you know, in whatever I do. So I went all in on this one, and pretty much no expenses has been spared to get us where it is. The only thing left to do is just the motor, which is what I'm planning on hopefully getting done with the next month or two. I'm just waiting for my guy to get back to me.
So it's going to be like a Series 2 version of this thing, essentially.
Oh, this is like probably like Series 3, like version 3 of this car right now. But yeah, this will be like almost the final stage, almost, I'd say, because there's really nothing else to do other to this car other than the motor. So
it's already bagged.
Yeah. The bags was the first thing I bought for this car because I knew I wanted to drive low, but I didn't want to destroy it. Mm-hmm. So bags were the first thing I did for this car for sure.
Especially Tampa roads, dude. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. And just doing the rollers, you know what I mean? Like the roads, and I was behind you and I was just like,
Definitely a few clenches there.
Yeah, and I have to, the fronts are 17s and the rears are 18s, but I have to get it low in order to make sure there's none of that wheel gap. So yeah. I'm definitely rubbing and definitely risky driving that low for sure on these roads. So it's a little nerve-wracking, but I'm used to doing it now since it's like my daily driver. I drive this thing every day, so like I'm more used to it now. So like every time I hear a bump or I scrape, it's like, it's okay. Like I know you guys heard me scraping. And you guys were like, oh, and I'm like, it's exactly. All right, we're good. Yeah, no big deal.
Exactly. So I will say, like, I didn't, how do I put this without it sounding messed up? I didn't like even know that you were here, or like part of it is because of my job schedule and everything. But until we did the podcast with Justin, shout out Lord Jiff, or he's like Jiff something
he's
else.
JDM
Jiff now.
JDM to be fair, I didn't know who you were either, so it's not,
exactly.
So.
Like, and I mean, I live in Waimama, like far out.
Yeah.
You know, no one goes out there.
Yeah.
So, but until we did the podcast with Justin, and he was like, yeah, you know Roger. And I'm like, no. And then he shows me the picture, and I'm like, whoa, I need to know Roger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, how'd you end up, I guess, kind of meeting him and meeting the rest of Tokyo, Tampa, as
JDM
it is on your shirt? Yeah. JDM Legends.
Yeah, so pretty much when I was in Miami, my car was getting worked on almost for about 10 months. And right when it got finished was the first week I moved here by coincidence. So I didn't even get a chance to drive in Miami for my friends down there to see, or to just show it off down there. So Tampa was like literally the first place. And so right when it was done, it was wide body, bag, wheels, drop, everything other than livery and the splitters. So it was funny because when I first pulled into this neighborhood when we moved in, my wife was like, oh, do you think there's any other NSX owners here? I'm like, nah, probably like another 5-10 miles. It's so rare.
Yeah.
And then 2 weeks later, I'm driving in my work van, and I'm just 2 streets down. I see there's a side street. I look in the corner house. There's a red NSX in the driveway with 3 guys and NA1. And I was like, what? A red NSX? Dang, okay. And I look in the garage. There's another NSX in the garage. And I'm like, whoa. Like within a throwing distance of a rock, it's that close. I'm like, no freaking way. It's like, I got to stop and turn around and tell you that. So I turn around, pull up to their house, and I go, hey, what's up, guys? They're like, oh, hey, what's up? And they're probably thinking oh, yeah, it's, someone just going to say something about the cars. And I was like, oh, yeah, I got an NSX too. Like, yeah, sure, buddy. I believe that. Yeah. But I do. I live right down the street. Like, where? Like, down the street, the next neighborhood? I'm like, no, like 2 streets down. And he's like, really? And that was my friend Dave. So he lives there, and he has an NA1 NSX. And the other guy who also had a red NSX was Pete. And he lives just 2 subdivisions down. And so that was pretty cool. And the other person that was there was Sang, who also has a red NSX. So them 3 have red NSXs. So
that's crazy.
It was different to see that, especially this neighborhood. And then it turns out too that the next street in between us is someone in the garage, never drives it. He has the new NSX, the NC1. So that's pretty cool too. But yeah, so those are the first people I met that was in the car scene. that would go out to meets. So I didn't really take it out much because I was working, but didn't know anybody. So I rarely took it out, but I did a car like a little meet they had here at the thing it's called JF Kicks. It's like a monthly meet they have here. But I think the first meet that I took it to was Cars and Coffee at Crate.
Provisions.
Yeah, so I went there in the morning, and I think when I went there, I had a tire blowout, and I was like one exit before Crate, and so it was like 7 in the morning. So I had to call my wife, and I told her, "Hey, babe, hate to do this to you, but I need you to come bring me a spare wheel." And she's like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, "Yeah." And she's sleeping, and so I was like, "Take your time, like no rush, like it's okay." And just I had to tell her what I need exactly. So she had to get like one of my big TE wheels, and a jack, and loads it up in the van, and then get my 2 kids dressed, and then put them in the car seats and drag them to the side of 75, and I changed my tire, so I had my SSRs on, and then one TE that didn't fit properly, so it was like it was in, and she was like, "Are you gonna go to the meet?" I'm like, "Nah, I'm not gonna go." She said, "But you're right here," and I said, "Yeah, but it looks retarded with 2 different wheels, and it doesn't look right." She goes, "No, so you sure?" I'm like,
Did all this work? You better go.
"Yeah." And then I'm with my friend Pete and Dave, and they're way with me, so I was like, "Dude, I gotta go, man. I can't just leave them." So all right, I'll go. So I pull up to the meet. It's still breaking necks. People are taking pictures of it, and then every single person wondering like, why the hell do you have this one wheel in the back that doesn't even match? So it was weird. But then I heard someone say, "Wow, this is like my favorite car here," and I'm like this, like with the mismatched wheel. I'm like, all right, So that was the first time I met. I went there. I met a couple people, but what was it? I think when I went to K-Pot, the first K-Pot meet.
Okay.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Okay, now I remember. So I knew the NSX guys. So Drew, NWF Drew, with his NSX, he's friends with Pete and Dave, and he was.
I feel like you own an NSX, you kind of have to be friends with NSX.
And that's how it started,
Yeah.
And he's the one that started the JDM Legends group that we had. I guess like a chat, and he invited me to come out there to Chenko's.
Okay, yeah.
So we had these. They just started the monthly meet there. So when I went to that Chenko's meet, that's when I met Justin, Jared at Full Circle, Tony, like the whole group that we have. I met most of those guys there at that meet, and then that's when Justin started, I guess, like taking over it, or he started the Legends group where he was hosting the K-pop meets with Jordan, and so that's how I met all those guys. And meeting those people, meeting them, the whole group, is made me go out to more meets, because of that, because I met so many people, and that's where it's like, okay, well now I'm going out more. Because I remember when I posted that a picture of it, I think after Crate, Justin messaged like, "Dude, where's this?" I said, "Yeah, I live in Valrico," and he was like, "Dude, where's this car been?" Because he lives near Valrico, and I'd never seen this car. I'm like, well, I barely take it out at the time, so I was here for 3 months. I said I barely take this car out, and so that's probably why you haven't seen me. But now, like, I daily drive it. I'm everywhere now. So yeah. So that's how I met everyone with the group, and it's been great ever since.
I feel like I kind of met Justin in a similar fashion. Like he was, I don't know where. I think I was at Waterset maybe or something like that. And I was in the Chaser or whatever, and he's like, "Man, this Chaser," and I was like, "This thing's a daily, like, it's not. I've done nothing to it, nothing to this extreme at all. I just did wheels, and that was it, because I drive it every day from my mama to Tampa. Well, that's a long drive, so." And then he was like, "Oh man," he added me, and then like next thing you know, I'm in some chat, and I'm like, "What the hell is going on?" But it's been great ever since, like, getting to go out more and stuff like that. Job has kind of like held me down a little bit, but now that has changed. So definitely looking forward to go out more. But
absolutely,
yeah,
that's the number one thing, honestly, when I tell people that, because they're like, don't you get bored when you go to these meets or whatever? And I said, honestly, when I go to these meets now, I don't even really look at the cars. I'm just going just to hang out with everybody, and I enjoy my friends and the whole group, where I'm just going just to hang out, and it's not really about the cars anymore. So which is nice. You know, you have to be in a good environment in order for you to
kind of
continue.
relinquish and like sit back a little bit
and just hang out, you know, and that's what I enjoy, you know, and so that's what's more what it's about, honestly, when I go to these things now.
Everybody I've met from Legends is really cool. So
oh yeah, no, it's a good vibe. Everyone has like that same mindset, you know. It's you want to have a cool car, whatever, nice car, whatever. It's nice, but everyone's pretty respectful and everyone's super helpful. And you know, any one of those people I know, if I were to call them, they would be willing to give me a hand in anything.
Yeah.
And it's vice versa. If anyone were to ever ask me for anything, dude, I'm more than willing to go on my way to help anybody that needs it. So that's the vibe, and I think that's the reason why it's such a good group of guys and girls that we have in there.
Yeah, I would say like even Xavier, you know, when he pulled up for Friendsgiving at my house, and they were having like a measuring contest essentially on exhaust note. Like whose exhaust is louder, blah, 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 blah. And Xavier's like, man, I got the loudest one here, but I'm trying to be respectful to PA's house and stuff like that. And he just kept saying like, I want to be respectful. I want to be respectful. I was like, okay, be respectful, but you could like go down the street, hit it, you know, and then come back and or whatever. And he was still respectful. So yeah. And it's not even like, oh, these are like, I mean, everyone's an adult, but it's not like, oh, okay, this is a 18-year-old, and he like everyone is respectful.
Yeah,
and that's dope.
Yeah, it's different because for me, it's that, you know, I'm 38, about to turn 39 on Monday.
Happy early birthday!
Oh, yeah,
Happy
thank you.
birthday.
Yeah, thank you. I hate it, but it's like weird. It's like I'm like now that old guy in the group, which is crazy to think, you know, because I've always was like the young guy in the group because I was doing this. I mean, I've been going to meets and like car things since I was like, you know, import things since I was like 16, 15 years old. So
for your brother and stuff.
Yeah, so I'm that old guy now, and the only reason why it's not as bad is because Okini's there, and he's old. So you know, he's our resident old guy in the group. But when he's not there, then I'm the old guy in the group. It was like,
make sure everyone's all right.
Yeah. So it's like you know, a good group of guys, you know, from like 19 years old all the way up to like, you know, 30s. But everyone's pretty cool, man. As long as, you know, you have a good attitude and, you know, no drama or, you know, no rev bombing, you know, I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
You know?
That I definitely love that for sure. Because you make the wrong turn or you go to like the wrong groups of it, and that's all you hear is people sitting on limiter, fart can, crazy stuff, and it's just like, dude. But I will say, like, if I could give an award, I would give you and Okini an award because y'all drive everywhere.
Yeah.
I bitch and complain about, oh, I don't want to do this. It's too far. Y'all drive everywhere in y'all's cars.
Yeah, like I said, I don't mind the drive because when I was living in Miami, so like for my business, you know, I do auto glass. So my business is called A Class Auto Glass and also A&R Auto Glass. So we are one of our major clients was a rental car company, and they wanted us to expand. So we were just starting in Orlando. That's why I moved to Miami to do more. They want us to do like more of Florida. So I went to South Florida. And with Miami traffic, I'm driving to Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm, and Fort Myers.
All in a day?
And Fort Myers.
I did all four in one day, in a day before.
Sheesh.
Yeah. So it's like I'm leaving 5 a.m., get to Fort Myers at 7, make my way across Allegany Alley, get up to West Palm. And, you know, that in itself would be like a 4-hour drive.
Yeah.
You know, and then just work my way south. And then I'll get to Miami by like 4 o'clock, and I have to like get whatever jobs I gotta get done before they close at like 5:30. So it was like a time crunch like no other, like the whole day.
Sheesh.
So I did that a good amount of times. So when someone complains about a 40-30 minute drive, like, dude, that ain't shit, you know, for what I'm used to. So that's why I never have a problem with the driving, because I honestly, you know, maybe at my age now, it's that, you know, I'll drive for hours with no music and I'm just sitting there, but I'm like reflecting, you know, thinking about, you know, business, family, you know, and just what's ever going on. And I'll zone out to where 2 hours later I'm in Fort Myers. It's like, dude, I don't even know how I got here, honestly, you know, because that's how hard I'm reflecting, you know, and thinking about stuff. But I enjoy it, you know, and it's like my time away because, you know, obviously having kids and a wife, you know, just it's like my own personal time, it felt like. So, you know, I appreciate it, enjoy it. And even now it's like, if I'm driving this car, I enjoy driving it to where, 30, 40 minutes is sometimes not even enough. I want to go longer. And so
Yeah.
that's why I drive. Like I've driven into Orlando a bunch of times for just to hang out with my buddies or go to meets. I drove to Miami twice. I just went to there less than a month ago, almost a month ago, for a car show down there. And yeah, it wasn't bad at all, And so, like I said, me and Okini, we're like cut from the same cloth. We don't mind the drive at all,
Yeah.
So it's all good.
That's what's up. All right. Well, we're gonna take a quick break here. Throw in some merch plugs. This Cafe Moto shirt here. Cafe Moto hat. Cafe Moto shirt hat. Roger is buying a shirt, so
Yes.
Cafe Moto shirt over his
gotta
face.
do it. Yeah, I know.
But yeah. All right. We'll be taking a quick break and we'll come right back.